It can be intimidating going to the grocery store to pick out a steak for your next grill out, but don't worry, there are tips and tricks to pick out the best steak when approaching the meat case. The first thing to know about beef quality is knowing what consists of quality. There are 3 standards that make a beef cut high quality. Everyone knows about marbling because of the prime and choice offerings that are labeled on the package. But for a quick refresher, when beef is labeled prime, it's going to have a higher amount of marbling that is spread throughout the entire lean. Because of this added flavor throughout the lean, this type of beef is going to cost more. But if you're looking for a cheaper option that will still taste great, a choice cut might be the best option. In a choice cut, it's going to have a lesser amount of marbling, but will still be a great eating experience. Another aspect of quality that you'll want to pay attention to is texture. This refers to the texture of the fibers in the meat. The thinner the fibers, the more tender that cut is going to be. The last aspect of quality that is important to understand is color. In beef, you want a bright cherry red color. This will be a good indicator of water holding capacity, which will create a juicier, more tender cut. Now, if there's a little bit of brown on the steak while in the retail case, that's okay. When beef is exposed to oxygen, it will oxidize. This is the perfect opportunity to still get a high quality cut and possibly cut a deal with the meat sales employees. To test your knowledge about quality, here's your option 1. Which of these is a higher quality cut? Here is option 2. What are the differences you see between these 2 different cuts when it comes to texture, marbling, and color? When going through the priorities, marbling is number 1. I don't see a huge difference between marbling as they're both still fine textured marbling that is somewhat spread out through the steak. Next step is to go to color. There are some big differences in color. Option 2 is a brighter cherry red color that would hold the advantage over option 1. As far as texture is concerned, there isn't a big difference that is seen through the packaging. Overall, both are great options, but because option 2 has better color, it would be the higher quality cut. Now, when it comes to picking out what cut to purchase and how to cook it, the best rule of thumb is to think if the beef animal used that area for locomotion. The areas of locomotion would be the chuck, also known as the shoulder, and the round, found in the hip area. Those are where you're going to find most of your roasts, like seen in this photo. For these cuts, you're going to want to cook it low and slow. Utilizing a crock pot at a low temperature is the best way to get the meat to turn out tender. If your meal plan calls for a steak, this would be a lower area of locomotion. When thinking of a steak, most people think of a ribeye. The ribeye steak comes from the loin where less movement happens there. Because of this, it is best to cook it in a shorter amount of time and at a higher temperature. If you don't have access to a grill, I suggest pan frying the steak or even using an air fryer. While nothing beats a steak on the grill, a thin cut steak like the one in this photo can create a great eating experience in the air fryer. No matter what cut of beef you pick out and how you cook it, make sure to use a meat thermometer to make sure the beef is cooked to 145 degrees Fahrenheit to ensure food safety. The next time you head to the grocery store, keep these tips and tricks in your pocket to impress your house guests the next time you host.